Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Jonathan Oyekomi, and I'll be taking today's theme mental fitness. And the theme for today is core plan, basically mapping out daily strategies to achieving your set goals. I know the topic about goal setting, it's overflogged already. It's not something new to us. It's something we have heard a couple of times with diverse strategies that has been shared a couple of times. So what I'm here to do today is just reiterate what we possibly have heard before now, remind us of our goals that we set. We are in the 7th month already. Literally, we have about 5 more months to go in 2024. But we can still achieve a whole lot. So I'll be starting with a question. If goals are so important, why do we fail to achieve them? What does goal setting do? Many times when we set goal, I think most of the time we are more focused about the goal instead of focusing on the journey to getting to the goal, because the goal is just a journey. Just as success is a journey, it's not a destination. It is something that we attain along the line. So I have it here that it's a process. It forces us to think about the journey. In other words, how you are going to get to complete the task. That's basically what goal setting does. And no matter the amount of strategy we talk about achieving our goals, if that part of the journey is not, carefully considered and, walked through, we would just end up, setting goals, going back and realizing that, oh, I set this goal last year and I didn't achieve them. So it's not a destination. The goals we've set, it's meant to force us to think about the journey. How do I get here? What do I want to achieve? I want to become this, I want to become that. There are processes to becoming whatsoever we've said we want to, achieve. So that is what goal setting does. So the next slide here says, think about the results you want to see. When we set goals, basically, it's meant to force us to think. What do I want to see? Let's imagine I say I want to probably maybe divert field. I've been a designer for a couple of years and I want to, I'm setting a goal that, I want to move into cybersecurity. That goal is meant to make me see myself in that place. As much as I'm seeing myself too, there's a journey that will take me there. I won't become a cybersecurity expert by just virtue of saying, I'm a cybersecurity expert. There's a journey, there's a process of learning, there's a process of, aside from even doing theoretical learning, there's a part of, practicalizing what I've learned to be able to showcase that. So think about the result. When we set goals, it's meant to help us, imagine things. We should have a foresight. Okay, so this is it. After seeing that, then how do I get there? So he said, before making a goal, take a closer look at what you are trying to achieve. Then we have to ask ourselves honest questions. Many times we set goals, but sometimes we are not so honest with ourselves. Even me, I've been a victim of that so many times. We are setting goals. I'm setting goals, but that part of being honest with myself about the goals, that I've set, I'm not carefully looking at. So this is the next slide. These are what to consider when we set goals. Is this goals true? Is this something you truly want? That is so key. When we set goals, we are not meant to set goals because this is what is in vogue. This is what people are doing. This is what is trendy. We have to ask ourselves, if we truly want that, then aside from that, does it align with our values? Does it align with my goal as a person? Because we are all expected as humans to have, values that guide us, values that shape us. So when we set goals, they should also be in line with these values. Then also I have it here that it is important, enough to pour hours of, is it important to pour hours? Because when we set goals that we are going to be committed to, we are going to, pour our time, our life, commit ourselves to, then we need to, think it through. Is it important for me to pour this amount of time into this thing? Then if yes, we are good to go. But if you have think it through and you feel like, committing this amount of time, committing this amount of hours, efforts, mental stress to doing this is not important, then why consider it as a goal in the first place? And lastly, if you are not willing to put in the time, then obviously it's not worth pursuing, because whatever goal we set, it comes with its own time, it comes with its own effort, the mental stress of even, considering it alone. It's something. So yes, we have to, be sure that we are willing to put in the time. And then yes, we define our goals. Those are strategies, for us to achieving our set goals. You define your goals. I know this is overflowed. We've all heard about SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based. It is not something new. It is something we've heard over and over and over and over. But aside from the fact that it's commonplace already, the truth is we still have to ensure that our goals go in line with this. It has to be specific. Many times we set goals that are broad. They are so broad that at the end of the day, that's the reason why we don't even end up achieving them. So we have to be sure that this particular goal I'm committing to is specific. While we write it down, is specific. We can measure progress. You can measure the achievements. Oh, have I been able to achieve this? It's measurable. Then it's attainable. Also, many times we set unrealistic goals that are not attainable. It's like someone that is a newbie at designing saying, oh, in 2 months I want to get to a pro level of being a designer as a goal. The truth is there's nothing you will do. Even when the best teaches you, the least you can get to is probably, you can't even be at intermediate. But yes, you might be better than a number of people you started with, but you would never get to the pro level in 2 months. It's not possible because there is a time to it. So setting that kind of goal obviously is not attainable. Then it has to be relevant. And above all, it is time-based. I think one of the biggest mistakes we as humans make is sometimes we set goals that we are not, putting time to it. That at so time I should be able to achieve this. At so time I should have done this. Putting timelines to whatever it is that we want to do. So to achieve our goals, we need to ensure that it is SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. The next stuff here is, we need to have an action plan. One thing I think I learned, when I joined the Adbond team is many times when we have meeting with Mrs. Omomi, after talking about the problems, what's so not, then she says, what's the action plan? Which means it's not good enough to just talk about the problems, the solutions. Then how do we achieve it? And as humans, because we all as humans, we are all, faulted with so many things. One of the things we are faulted with, we talk about problems. Then a few people talk about solutions. Then another set of few people now talk about, okay, what are the action plans? How do we achieve these things? So an action plan, when we set goals can be very broad. We need to focus on one goal at a time. One goal at a time. This is one of the things that, could hinder us from achieving our goals. Many times we set goals, we want to achieve like 3, 4, 5 things at a time. But personally, you know yourself. You know your strengths. Can I do these 2 things? It's someone that is saying, I want to become a videographer. Oh no, let me say I want to become a pro video editor. And you know how much time goes into video editing. And you are giving yourself a timeline of 1 month. And in between that space of time again, you are talking about bodybuilding. All these things are time consuming. Now you need to know, can I achieve this too at a time? The truth is yes, you can. But there is a level of, understanding oneself that gets into it that makes you feel like, okay, I can combine these 2 things together and achieve them. If you have not gotten to that level, it's just better you focus on one goal at a time. Achieve this one. Know that yes, this one is in the bag. I've done it. Then do your research. What does it take to achieve this goal? It's very important. Many times we feel like we live in the stone age whereby we think, oh, I can just make this decision. I can do it my own way. The truth is people have gone ahead of us. Someone has done something before. There's nothing new, obviously, in this world. Whatever it is we are doing is we are just reinventing what once existed and making it better. So you need to do research. This thing I want to do, many times when you want to become like a software developer, front-end developer, they will tell you map to become a front-end developer. You start HTML, then you do CSS. From CSS, then you take up Java. From Java, then you learn a library that would help you. So there are maps for how to get there. So do your research. Then lay out your steps in timeline. This is also talking about that time-based. There should be timeline. Okay, if I want to learn design, using graphics design, as a template or whatever. I'm losing that word now. But using graphic design as an example now, I need to give myself timeline. Okay, by the first 1 week, even if you're training, there are timelines. The first 1 week, I need these guys to know about the basic fundamentals of design. Then by week 2, I want these guys to understand how to use shape, use different elements. By week 3, okay, I want them to be able to know how to do simple manipulations. There should be timeline to it. So also when you are trying to achieve your goals, lay out your steps. Let there be timeline. By so time this should be done. By so time I should be able to do this. Then also it's important to track your progress. I think one of the biggest mistakes we make many times when we set goals is we don't track our progress. We don't know, how far have we gone? What have we achieved now? Have we been able to, achieve a buck? You are looking like out of 100%. If you achieve 60%, okay, that means I'm doing well. I'm not doing badly. Then as we track our progress, it is important to reward ourselves. I think that's one of the biggest disfavor we've done to ourselves. Many times when we set goals and we are probably, just because we as human, we have these big imaginations of what we want to become. So the moment we see that we are not where we want to be, we are not even considering the processes. This is how far I've gone. We don't get to, reward yourself. Reward yourself at all time. When you say, I want to do this, it's like someone saying, I want to work out, I want to do 50 push-ups every day for 7 days. And you are able to keep consistently to doing that, because doing push-ups consistently for 7 days is not even easy. I remember about 2 months ago, I felt like, I've slacked. I wanted to do press-up. I think I did push-ups for about 2 days, and ever since then, I have not gone back. So it might be minute, but it's a whole lot to the bigger goal. Because if I've been consistent for 2 months, I would have seen the difference. I started for 2 days, then I rested, and that was all. So reward yourself. If you are doing well, and you can only know if you are doing well when you track your progress. These things are interwoven. So reward yourself. Then lastly, don't give up. I know someone will wonder why the don't give up part. The truth is, don't give up. I'd like to know, do you know that before we give up, physically, that's obvious to everyone, there are 2 stages. Sorry, let me just say, there are 2 stages to even giving up in whatever endeavor in life. Mr. Siri, do you know that there are 2 stages to giving up? Do you know? Alright. Because there are actually 2 stages to giving up. Before anybody gives up on anything physically, probably telling you, I'm no longer doing, they've given up in their mind. They've pondered for so long, thinking, I think I should not do it. I think I want to stop this thing. Before they give up physically. So that is the same thing with our goals. Before we give up physically in our mind, and that is just because, we have so much expectation of ourselves. We could be judging ourselves and be like, I think I'm not doing well at this thing. I think this thing is not meant for me. So many, I think, and then we now come out physically to say, I'm no longer doing. But that process of giving up didn't just start then. That started in the mind. The mind has been doing a lot of processing. Should I not? So keep to the action plan. Don't give up, because that's the only way we can achieve goals. When we set goals and it looks like it's not, there's always room for to go back. That is the place of doing your research. You can always go back. What is it that I'm missing? I stated these things out. This is how I'm going to get here. So don't give up. And then push yourself across the finish line. Because if you don't give up, there's also a place of not giving up and still not achieving it. You can choose not to give up, and in your mind you'll be like, I know I didn't give up, but I'll come back, I'll come back in another 4 months. I have other things to do. People, even if you have an accountability partner and he's always telling you, you said this, you say, yes, I know. I'm still going to do it, or it's still in my mind, but I'll come back to it. I'm still coming back to it. So yes, it's important that above all, push yourself across the finish line. It's so key, because if you set the goal, that means there's actually a finish line for it. And if it now takes forever, that means you are not crossing the finishing line. That means it's going to linger for as long as you live on earth. So have a developed task list. It will help it keeps you accountable on days you feel less motivated and you rather stay in bed. I think that is one thing I think Mr. Oluwagbemiga does very well. He comes with his sticky notes, has stuff scribbled out. I believe that is he writing out, these are the things I want to achieve for today. A lot of us, we just live life. Sometimes it's like we are just going through life. Because we wake up in the morning, literally we don't say this is like what I want to achieve per day. And the truth is, all these goals whatsoever we are talking about, even the future that we talk about, the future is just every hour, every minute, every second. Because what I do now in the next seconds, in the next 1 minute, in the next 1 hour, those are what we translate to all those goals I've talked about. Whatever goal you've set down that, yeah, this is what I want to achieve. If you are not maximizing the minute, you are not maximizing every second, maximizing the hour, then it's as good as you are just writing stuff down. And here I have your success will live or die based on whether you can overcome these obstacles. Procrastination, self-criticism, lack of confidence, then perfectionism. To any goal that we've set to achieve, these 4 things will always come to play. There is going to be a place of procrastinating. I'll do it tomorrow. I still have more time. Maybe it's 4 months. It's just today now. I still have 4 months. I have 4 months to come up like, I'll do it tomorrow, and before you know, 4 months is gone. Then there's a place of self-criticism. That is, and it happens, self-criticism, it even happens when you have so much expectation of yourself. Then you start criticizing yourself. Okay, I'm not doing well enough. I think I should be able to do this. I think I should have done this. I think I should have gone through this stage. But all these things would work well when we know ourselves. You know your strengths. You know your weakness. You know, it's like when you were in school. There are people that play with you all through the whole day, but they don't sleep at night. They read. Now, when you compare yourself to someone that plays and wanders around all through the day, and in your mind at night you sleep, thinking we are all one, but we play together now, that means you have failed. Because that person already knows that at night, I am not sleeping. I'm going to be awake all through. Then lack of confidence, Lack of confidence comes in the place of probably our self-esteem, or let me not use the word self-esteem. There's this word that in programming, yes, it is called imposter syndrome. And I think it happens to anyone learning anything new. At some point, even when you are doing well, you start feeling like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not meant to do this thing. When you code, when you code, you realize that a number of times, developers, programmers spend more of their time on Google than actual coding, because many of the times they are looking for solutions online. Many of the issues you are having with coding, someone has done it. There was a time I was learning coding, and many times I'm browsing Google. Then in my mind, I'm like, this cannot be the coding I said I want to learn. Is this what I'll be doing if someone employs me? Sitting down on Google, browsing every time just to look for solution. I feel like I should be writing these codes offhand. But nobody even really does that. So there's a place of lack of confidence, which could also come in form of imposter syndrome. Then perfectionism. There's also one thing that can hinder us from achieving our goals. When you're a perfectionist, you feel like it has to be like this before it is done. If it's not like this, then I've not done it. Then many times you won't achieve your goals, because yes, you are doing well, but you won't even you won't applaud yourself for doing well, because in your mind you feel like, oh, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. And before you know, you will find yourself, running away from it, feeling like, oh, probably I'm not good enough for it, since I can't achieve this level of perfectionism at what I want to achieve. Then lastly, remember to be kind to yourself and work hard to whatever goals we've, penned down to achieve. There is the place of being kind to ourselves. Because if you are not kind to yourself, then you will be judging yourself, you will criticize yourself, you won't forgive yourself for little mistakes. You would always hold on to, oh, I think I should have done this. Yes, it's good to hold ourselves to high expectations, to believe that we can achieve the very best. But even while we do that, we should also remember that it takes a while, it takes years, it takes a couple of efforts, to achieve that mastery that we are looking for. So be kind to yourself, work hard, and set realistic goals. Thank you, and this is the end of my training. So if you have any comments, questions, please drop it in the comment section. We'll be responding to them. Thank you. Cut.